ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of this great text, Vivekachudamani, authored by Adi Shankaracharya and taught to us by our revered Guru, Swami Paramarthananda. We have been analyzing verse 4 of this great work. All along, beginning from the very beginning up to this verse and a few more verses, Shankaracharya is laying the foundation and dinning it into our minds about the greatness, the rareness, and the blessedness of human janma. It is clear that Shankaracharya is very concerned that a human being studying the our scriptures, our holy scriptures, must keep his nose to the grind wheel, as it is said, and never ever look back until he has reached the goal of discovering the highest purushartha, which happens to be our higher nature, our divine higher nature. This Shankaracharya wants all serious spiritual seekers to keep in mind. Therefore, he is laying the foundation in our minds that we may appreciate our human janma and not allow our attention to be drawn away from this highest, finest, and the rarest goal. Shankaracharya has been driving home this message, which we are continuing to study in the fourth verse too. We have come to the to almost the end of analyzing verse number 4. And we saw that in the third line of this verse, which reads, Yastvatma muktau na yateta mudhadhihi. And the fourth line, Shankaracharya literally gives him the knockout blow. And he says, if this guy does not work, he or she does not work for his own liberation, doesn't take charge of his or her life, then what happens? He says, Sa he atmaha, sahyatmaha swam vinihantya asadgrahat. Vinihantya asadgrahat. He is as though saying that he or she is stabbing oneself by holding on to anatma. See, for suicide, there ought to be some weapon, right? So, vinihanti asadgrahat. By holding on to anatma, he kills himself, as it were. One cannot kill the atma. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Atma can never be killed. He is as though killing the Atma in the sense that he is ignoring himself in search of peace, security, and happiness, as Swami Paramarthananda would often say. Instead of recognizing permanent PSH in himself, he is going in search of temporary, ephemeral PSH out there in the world. And by doing so, he's losing sight of his higher self. Let us pick up the thread of the final portions of Swamiji's discussion on this verse from where we left in the last capsule. We saw Shankaracharya advises Atma Muktau Yateta, being concerned for humanity. Because if we lose this golden opportunity, there is no assurance as to when the next opportunity will come by. This thought process, Swamiji said, should spur us on to a sincere and committed approach to the study of our scriptures. And in spite of this commandment, literally a decree, Atma Muktau na yateta. Suppose a person does not work for liberation. Who is he? Shankaracharya says, Saha Mudhadhihi. A totally deluded fool, an unintelligent person, a confused person. He does not have well defined priorities. Further, he says such a person is committing suicide. Saha atmaha. He destroys himself, as it were. Atmaha means the one who commits suicide, the one who destroys himself. And how does he destroy himself? Asat grahat vinihanti. By holding on to anatma. This is where we left off. Asat here refers to anatma, and anatma refers to all other things except jnanam and moksha. Anatma refers to all other things except jnanam and moksha. Being preoccupied with the body, being preoccupied with the family, being preoccupied with society to such an extent that I do not have time for spirituality is definitely a problem. Swamiji talks about, often talks about the Pancha Anatma. It would be worth recollecting the Pancha Anatma over here. Swamiji says the first of the Pancha Anatmas is the one closest to us, which is our mind. And then a little further, not very further away, a little further away is our body. These two components combine to generate ahankara. And then comes the all important third anatma, very difficult to swallow, our family. Because family is anything other than the atma. That is why it is called anatma. Difficult to swallow, but that is the truth. Then the fourth anatma is all our possessions put together. All our possessions put together is the fourth anatma. And the fifth anatma is whatever profession we are involved with or in, directly or indirectly. So, family, possessions, and our professions make up mamakara. So, mind and body together make up the ahankara, and family, possessions, and profession combine to make the mamakara. So he is this guy, this person who has reached quite a height in Vedantic studies, in being exposed to our scriptural teachings, gets drawn away by the Pancha Anatmas by being so preoccupied. He's so preoccupied that he forgets himself. Forgets himself. Serving the body, family, and society at the cost of one's spiritual progress is never recommended by our Shastras. Never recommended by our Shastras. Here, in Uddhava Gita, in the Avadhuta Gita section, we learn about how different animals fall a prey, animals, insects, etc., fall a prey to their weaknesses and lead themselves to death. We have five jnanendriyani, isn't it? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, and Gandha. There are examples of five different creatures that are mentioned in that section. If we take Shabda, the example of a deer is taken, how the deer can be easily attracted by a hunter if he knows how to entice the deer, and the deer falls a trap to the hunter's tunes. Sparsha, how a male elephant can be lured using a female elephant. And when the male elephant rubs his counterpart, his female counterpart, he gets completely captivated and loses himself. So, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, how a moth or an insect is attracted to the glowing flame of a lamp, and so enamored is it with the glow that it doesn't realize that the more it nears it, the more it is falling into a trap and will die in the heat of the oil. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. Then Rasa. Rasa is essentially the tongue. Here, the example of a fish is illustrated, is taken to illustrate the point as to how the fish gets hooked. Swamiji would say in the case of a moth, it has a mothy intellect and therefore gets burnt in that flame. Similarly, Swamiji says the fish has a fishy intellect and gets hooked to the fisherman's hook and is trapped for good. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, and then Gandha. A, an insect is so enamored by the nectar in a flower and gets so enticed by sucking the nectar that it forgets the passing of day into evening, into night. It goes deeper and deeper into the flower, and as night falls, the flower closes its petals for the day. And so the bee or the other insect that was sucking the nectar gets trapped and dies. Poor thing, it doesn't know how to evict itself. Well, if animals fall a trap to their weaknesses, it is understandable. because they don't have a buddhi to control their senses. But if an informed person, an educated person, falls a trap to the lure of anatma, then one needs to really pity such a person. He's really committing suicide. So, serving the body, family, and society at the cost of one's spiritual progress is never recommended by our Shastras. As we saw, the Taittiriya Upanishad Sikshavalli clearly says, Kushalanna pramaditavyam. Anatma is called asati because it is mithya. Asati is unreal, the unreal world of things and beings, unreal world of actions and results. Holding on to the unreal, the real is dropped. Whereas what needs to be done is holding on to the unreal, we must, like the pole vaulter holds on to the pole, we must use the unreal as the pole and jump over the vault. We must jump over the crossbar to fall into the cushion of moksha. That is what has to be done. Holding on to the unreal, the real is dropped. You must hold on to the unreal and drop the unreal to achieve the real, to discover the real. Dropping Atma, the reality, is called self destruction. Lured by Anatma, when one drops our focus, our attention on Atma, our true nature, that is called self destruction. Therefore, Asat Grahat is equal to Anatma Abhimanat. Asat Grahat is equal to Anatma Abhimanat. Dharma Artha Kama Vyaparatvat. Dharma Artha Kama Vyaparatvat, he destroys himself. With this, we come to a close on our discussion, our study of Shloka number 4. From the next capsule, we will enter Shloka number 5. Till then, Hari Om.